Hello everyone, my name is Deja and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today, I just want to talk about living this one life that we all have, right? So, the end isn't, like, no one knows what's going to happen to us, right? Some people believe in heaven, some people believe in reincarnation, some people think it's just blank when we end, right? When we die. And I don't know, I kind of believe in reincarnation, but I'm aware that no one knows for sure, right? So, I've been taking this motto to heart, YOLO, but also, you only have one life that you know of, so live it, right? And I really think it's, changed my life, honestly, because if I try to think back on where I was 3 years ago, I don't even remember who she was, right? 3 years ago, I had a boyfriend and I was skinnier and I didn't really do much. I just worked and worked and worked and worked and went to school and college and saved my money, and I never really traveled, and it was an okay existence. I liked my boyfriend and I had friends, but I really didn't feel fulfilled, right? I always dreamed of something more. And now, when I think about myself, I'm like, look at this, look at this fit. I'm just wearing, now I'm kind of like a hippie and kind of a freelancer in a way. I don't even know, but I know that my life has just changed so drastically because once I broke up with that boyfriend, I just had a whole change in perspective about my life. And I think it really helps when you spend so much time with yourself and you really have to think about your own future or your own day-to-day, wow, what am I gonna do with my life? I'm not basing my life around this other person and we're trying to figure out how we're gonna have our future together. It was oh shit, well, that plan's out the window. And if that plan still existed, I'd be working a full-time corporate job right now after graduating college while I waited for him to graduate college. And maybe it would have been fine, I don't know. But I realized that, well, I have to figure out something else to do with my life now, which is perfectly fine. And I got to figure it out on my own, which was wonderful. And the whole time in the back of my mind, I was just I gotta live it up. I gotta live it up. And when you're only in your own mind, right? Because when you're with a partner, you're always thinking about them. I don't know, maybe not all relationships are like that, but you're focused on someone else. It's two of you together. But when it's just yourself, I don't know, the options are just endless, right? And I was I'm just gonna live it up. And I had saved a lot of money, and I didn't really do anything with it, because I was smart with my saving, but I was okay, I'm gonna be kind of smart with it, and then I'm gonna do what I want to do. So I maxed out a Roth IRA to be okay, that was a good thing to do. Glad I got that out of the way. And then I booked a trip to Europe with a friend I met in college 2-3 months prior. And holy shit, that trip was 1 year ago, a year and a half ago. It's November right now, and I went last year in July, and it was literally life-changing. For real. There's ups and downs. It wasn't amazing the entire month I was there. I've never left my family for a month, let alone the US for a month. But it was just so eye-opening. I'm I could do this. I didn't rely on anyone else to pay for my travels. I didn't even ask anyone. I just kind of told my mom, hey, I kind of want to go to Europe. She's okay. I'm yep, I'm leaving on this date. And then I just did it with my friend. It was very nice to have a friend with me at that time. But I just relied on myself. And I was if I want to do this, I'm gonna do it. Because you can try to, you're gonna have your parents, grandparents, friends, partners, they could try to tell you what to do with your life or the path that you should be headed, and they could try to put their opinions of what you're doing at that time, like they can project that onto you and try to tell you what to do. But at the end of the day, especially when you turn 18, you don't have to listen to them, right? Like, be respectful about it. Like, hey, thank you for looking out for me. Like, I appreciate that, you're trying to be supportive, but I need you to be supportive of what I want to do and not what you want me to do. And once I realized that was just insane, because I'm like, I can really do whatever I want to do. Not like, I don't know, as long as it's ethical and shit, of course. But the doors of possibilities in this world are just amazing. If it makes you happy to stay in your one town that you've lived your whole life, or maybe you move to the bigger city close to you if you lived in a small town, and you just stay there for your whole life and work a job in that city and grow a family in that city, that makes you happy. And that is all up to you. But if you want to get out of the cycle, maybe that's exactly what your parents did, and you're like, I don't want to do that. You can do it. You just need to save up a little money, and then go. Just get out, live, do what you want to do. It's so important, because do you really want to wake up in 30 years? If you woke up in 30 years from now, are you going to be happy with where you're at? Are you going to be happy with how your life turned out? And if that's a yes, then keep doing what you're doing. But if it's a no, change something. It really is that simple. And I know everyone's situation is different. Everyone's different, humans with their own different life experiences and situations that we're going through. But if you want to get out, to do something, you can do it. You really can. You could change up your habits. Like, instead of doom scrolling, that's just so sad to think about, that people just spend so much time scrolling. I have a younger sister that does that on TikTok, and I'll ask her, what was one of the videos you just watched? Or I think I said 3. Name what happened in 3 of the videos that you just scrolled through. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, well, you're not really gaining anything from watching these videos. And she's like, yeah, I know. I think it was just, I saw a YouTube video one time. It was a longer video, and he was explaining that he wants to make long-form content and put in some inspirational stuff, or just have a message with what he's saying, instead of just these YouTube shorts that you just keep scrolling through and scrolling through and scrolling through. And I thought that was really important. And I was like, damn, I actually learned a lot from this guy. And I went and I watched a lot of his longer videos. And maybe that's a form of doom scrolling. I don't know. But I felt more happy about that. And once I finished watching some of them, I went out and I told my best friend what I learned from the video. And it's so much different than scrolling through YouTube shorts. I can't remember what I watched on those. And it's addicting. It's really addicting. You just gotta break out of that mindset, pick up a book instead. I know it's a Kindle, but books are amazing. If you're not into reading, I really think you should try out a book. Maybe Verity by Colin Hoover. I don't know. I think that would hook you right away. But yeah, this life is yours. It's up to you, and you get to decide however you want to live it. And I know money is a major concern, right? It's well, I have a couple thousand in savings. And, you know, like, I should, you know, keep adding the savings. Like, I don't want it to disappear. I don't want to not have it because it's, like, that safety barrier or whatever. And maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's silly, but I don't, and that might be, okay, it might be silly, but I listen to YouTubers, right? I also 3 years ago, right, when I had a boyfriend and I was skinnier, I don't remember who I was, but at that time, I let my mom penetrate my mind, right? Like, she was like, oh, you should, okay, go to college and then get an internship while in college, and then after you're in college, the place that you want to move to, well, make sure you have at least 6 months of rent saved up, and then try to find some roommates for an apartment or sublease a house or blah, 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 blah. And it all seemed like okay because my mom, she's financially stable, right? And she's someone to look up to, honestly. And I was for so many years. And then when I had that click moment, or like that life change moment after my ex-boyfriend, I was like, wait, is that how I want to live my life? Or is that how she wants me to live my life, like her? And I'm like, would I be living that for me or for her? And then I just started to not, like, I try to be nice about it. Like, when she would tell me advice, I'd, like, nod my head and listen. But in the back of my head, I'm like, that is not what I want to do. Like, I do not want to do that. And I started looking up to YouTubers instead. And I think I always have, because it's just amazing to see people your own age, mainly because of YouTube, where they're at now. Like this one girl, she's my age, or a year older than me, and she has a New York City penthouse because of YouTube, because she just grinded out on YouTube. And she travels all the time. She traveled to Bali when she was like 15 or 16. It might seem like outrageous or like crazy for someone, a normal person in their day-to-day life, to think about, like, how are you supposed to go to Bali when you're 16 and live in New York when it's so expensive when you're 19? And at the end of the day, we're all humans. Like, every one of us, we're humans, right? A YouTuber is a human. A person at a desk job is a human. Normal people, we're all human. And we all have different opportunities that'll come to us in life. And if you, like, work hard towards something, I don't know, I really feel like you can get there. And I just decided to, well, YouTubers always inspired me, but then I was like, why don't I try to live like that? And okay, if you're watching this, yes, I'm on YouTube right now. I'm not even monetized yet. Like, I like to be. I would love to travel and vlog about it and show everyone my travels and make money doing that. That would be amazing. But even without being monetized, I'm still trying to embody a YouTuber, right? Like, I'm going to Asia in a month and a half just because I saved up money and it looks really freaking cool. And I want to see all the continents before I die. And I don't know when I'm going to die. So I wanted to do it now instead of wait 30, 40 years. And will I even want to do it then? Will I have kids? Grandkids? I don't know. I have no clue. All I know is right now, nothing's promised. We don't know about the past is in the past. You can't change the past. And you can't control the future. Even if you try. Like, you can plan and plan and plan, but it doesn't mean that's how it's going to work out. And I went through that twice already. The one with my boyfriend, like what we were going to do with our life. We get married. I might have been married by now. That's crazy to think about. But I'm very happy with where I'm at now. But I also had my heart set on moving to Florida for the past, since I was in like 7th grade. I don't know, 8 years ago or something like that. And that's what I had been like dreaming about. And when people like asked me, what are you gonna do? You know, like, what do you want to do after college? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm gonna move to Florida. And I was dead set on that. Like, I didn't know exactly when, maybe a little after graduating college. I wanted to travel first. And I went down there this summer, and I wanted to live in Clearwater, Florida. And I went with my family because my brother had a soccer tournament in Florida in July. We went in July. And I was like, this is a test to see if I really want to live here, because I know it's summer there, but it's going to be so hot. I'm like, let's see if I can handle this, This would be like the ultimate test. And I did not like it. Like, the ocean was super fun because it's the ocean. But I didn't like walking around outside, and in under 10 minutes, my back is wet from sweat. Like, that's so gross. Not terribly gross. I mean, like, there's showers in the ocean and swimming pools if you wanted to. But just walking around, like, if I had to commute to work, like, walking to work or something, I don't want my back to get sweaty and then my back be sweaty for my shift and think about the sweat on my back. Kind of gross. I know. So, that was one thing. I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this. And then I wanted to live in Clearwater, Florida, because I grew up in Clearwater, not in Florida. I was like, that'd be cool. Full circle moment. And we got there, and the beach, I went out to the buoys, right? Like, the buoys were way out in the ocean, and maybe the tide was low at the time. I can't remember, but it was only like waist deep, way out at the buoys. And I got caught in a riptide in California this summer, so I'm scared of riptides a little bit in the ocean, slightly. It's now a little fear, but I've been in the ocean since, and I'm trying to work on it. But I don't want to go past the buoys because, I don't know, I'm like a daredevil with some things, but getting caught in a riptide, I don't want to die today, that's what I was thinking. And it was just waist deep, and the water was kind of murky. Not all oceans are clear. There's rarely like clear oceans, but I was like trying to look for shells, and there wasn't many shells, but I saw if you dig your hand deep in the ocean and you pull out like a scoop of sand, there'd be some shells in it, usually cracked shells, but I was doing that. I was like sifting through it, and then I realized that like when the sand was by my nose, it smelled really bad. Like, it just smelled just weird and fishy. Excuse me. And it's like, yeah, I don't know about all this. And then I wear rings, right? Rings. And my rings all turned brown from that water. Like, they're stainless steel, most of them, I think. 925, whatever. And they turned brown. They went back to normal after like 2 days of showering with them on. But still, I was like, this is so gross. And I didn't even like the area of Clearwater. And I know there's more places to live, of course, but it was just so hot there. And the ocean like dulled my shine. It was just so sad. And I was like, wow, I'm not going to live in Florida. I spent the last 8 years planning to live in Florida. And now I'm just going to not. And I have to figure out what I'm going to do instead. Where else I'm going to live. And that's why you can't control the future either. As much as you can plan and try to figure it all out, there could be other variables that you didn't even think about, or it just doesn't feel right. Or you get there and you live there for like a year, and then you're like, I just really don't like this. And then boom, your whole future is changed. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, depending on how you look at it, right? Like, to me, I was like, this sucks initially. But then I was like, wait, as soon as I left Florida, it got hit with like that big hurricane, and all the places that we stayed at are underwater now. I'm like, I kind of dodged a bullet, right? I was like, I don't have to deal with that if I'm not in Florida. And being 24-hour drive from my family in the Midwest. I'm like, it's kind of far. So it's kind of like rolling with the punches. You know, you can like dwell on how your future didn't work out the way you wanted it to, or you can be like, well, maybe I can travel around now and look at different states and see if I want to live in any of these other ones, because maybe there's other benefits. Like now I'm thinking about Oregon because it has waterfalls, and Florida is so flat and has no waterfalls. Not really, I don't think. Not like Oregon. And Oregon has mountains and the ocean. And would I have ever even considered Oregon if I just moved to Florida? No. So we only have this moment right now that we're living in. And if you're just wasting all that away on your phone, just doing nothing, I don't know, watching TV all day, it's just kind of sad, because you could die tomorrow, you could die in 10 days, or 10 years, or when you're 110. No one knows. But if you're just doing little things today that make you happy, make you feel good, that's another thing. You need to do what makes you happy. They always say that. I think it's a thing, but it's really true, because if you're not happy yourself, how can you be happy for other people? How can you be happy for your family, for your kids, for your partner? And happiness is just so important. So you need to do things that make you happy. Yes, it's nice to do things that make others happy, but you need to focus on yourself the most and love yourself. You know, if you don't love yourself, how can you love someone else? It doesn't really make sense. I saw that somewhere. It was like a quote, and it's so true. And as much as like I crave some physical attraction, attention, whatever the fuck, right now, I'm like, I don't fully love myself at this moment. Because I've always struggled with like weight and shit. So I'm like, you know, after I love my body, like truly love my body, I'm getting there, I'm close, then I can look for love if I want to. And yeah, it's just really important, like, to have that kind of self-discipline too, of like telling yourself like you want to get better, or you need to do a couple changes before you merge your life with someone else's. And I don't know, I'm just so fucking grateful to be on this earth, to have this life. And I even lived out of my car. I tried car life for a month and a half, pretty much, throughout this year. And because that was kind of a dream too. I was like, I want to do van life, car life. And shit, I tried it out, because why the fuck not? I didn't even do a conversion. Like, I did a no build, which was really nice. And it ended up not being what I really love doing. Definitely for like some short-term traveling, to save money on hotels, just sleep at rest stops with window covers. But I thought I was gonna do it for like months and months and months. And after a month and a half, I was like, kind of done. Kind of just want a shower and a stove, which I didn't have in my car. So that's why I'm like sitting. I'm sitting where my passenger seat would be, because I took it out for my car conversion. But after I go to Asia, I'm like, I want to see the northeast coast. Like, I want to go up by Maine and Boston, because everything's better in Boston, according to Atlas Corrigan. So I just want to see all those little states up there, and like Washington DC, because why the fuck not? And I might just live in my car again for a little bit, and then drive it to Oregon maybe. I don't know. It's a relative plan, because now I've learned that plans definitely change, and you don't want to put all your energy into a certain plan. If it's short term, that's a different thing. But if it's long term, it might not work out. So, to just live in the moment and have some relative plans, but try your best to be happy and love yourself. I really think that that'll just help you in the long run. And you'll be happier today, which will lead to a better tomorrow and a good life. Just spitting wisdom, you know? Also, look at Gilbert. This is the coolest thing in my car. Like, I have so much stuff. You know, if you like avocados or you have a little thing that you like, buy some avocado stuff. If you want to have a Mother Earth, massive Mother Earth statue in your car that you bought at a crystal shop, do that. Do what you want to do. Just do anything you want to do. And, oh yeah, like I said, you know how I don't even know where I was 3 years ago, like who I was. Who was she? Who was she? I also hadn't talked to my dad since then. Haven't really seen my dad in 3 years, and it's kind of sad, you know? And after 3 years, I heard a song, Freaking Out on the Interstate by Briston Marley, and it helped change my perspective again on life. I'm like, it says, driving home, call my father on the telephone. I hope you know I missed you, man. Let's put this all behind us if we can. And I was just like, yes, I need to go see my dad and rekindle our relationship. And it's a two-way street, you know? But now I'm here. I'm just staying with my dad for a little bit. And we've rekindled our relationship. And it's so amazing. Like, why have grudges? Why be sitting on these things that you wish you would have said, you wish you would have done, when you can just do it? And it may be hard. You may have to, like, swallow your pride a little bit, and just go out of your comfort zone, maybe have a little anxiety about it. But once you do it, it's done. It's over, and you can move on after that. So, I hope you learned something. I hope you took something away from this video. I just really wanted to talk to you and tell you that you only have this one life that we're aware of. So you gotta live it. You truly just gotta live it. Live it up. Live it up. I'm gonna get that tattooed right here one day, because I love tattoos. But live it up. Live it up. Live it up. Okay. Maybe I'll tap out now, because this video is 28 minutes long. But I need some watch hours, because I want to get monetized. So, if you made it all this way, oh my god. Fucking love you. I'm serious. I love you. Like, you're a G. You're a real one. Seriously. I appreciate you very much. Comment something down below. Say hey, say what's up. I respond to all my comments. Unless they're negative, then I might remove them. But, you know, just for my own mental health, right? Anyway, I love you all very much. I hope you have a wonderful life, because now you're gonna live it up. And it's gonna be a good life. It's a good life. If you catch yourself saying that, you've made it. You've done something right. Because it is a good life. It truly is. If you want to make it a good life, work hard to get there and make it a wonderful life. I love you all. Have a good life. Live it up.